Hey guys, and welcome back to Garden of Kaylan.
Where plants run free with jokes and clumsiness. Let's make it green and wild in the Garden of Kaylan.
I was watching some of my old videos the other day, and in between cringing every 5 seconds, I noticed that a lot of my plants have really grown up. And I'm just such a proud plant mama that I want to show you guys their before and afters. And let me just tell you, some of these plants were on the struggle bus forever. So we have really come quite the distance. Also, it's worth noting that while I was watching these same videos, I noticed that a lot of the plants are now dead as well, but we're not gonna talk about those. Anyway, hi, I'm Kayla and welcome back. If you're new here, welcome, and be sure to subscribe if plants are your vibe. The first plant was on my wish list for years before I finally found it and bought it, and it definitely hit the ground running. I don't know what I did right. I don't think I did anything to it at all, but it exploded with growth. This is my Philodendron buono, and oh my gosh, how far we have come. I've never really had any problems with this plant. I've propagated it a bunch of times. It has kept this amazing and very stable variegation the entire time. I've even moved it around a couple times and it never really took like a hit. I've had my buono for about 2 years, and when I bought it, it was already fairly large, not nearly as large as it is right now, but it was nice and full. It was, I think, $60 when I bought it. So I felt like it was a very good deal at the time. I don't know how much they are now, but I just remember being like, oh, it's only $60. So they used to be kind of pricey. I talk about this plant all the time, and it's because I'm so in love with it, and it's always just doing so well. Any given time that I look at it, no matter the season, it's got some new growth on it. And I can count on one hand how many leaves I've ever lost off the buono. So it's been very few, which is to say a lot in comparison to the rest of my plants. And I feel like I show my buono pretty often, but even in between videos, the growth is always so significant in between. So I'll look back at a video, even from a few months ago, and notice that the growth is phenomenal. And I do make sure I keep it supported. As you can see, it's time to go ahead and go up again on another one of these stakes. But yeah, I keep it supported, and I think I fertilize this. I'm sure I fertilize it. I fertilize everything. But I don't really have to do too much. Honestly, I can't tell you what the secret is behind the buono. It has nothing to do with me. This plant just grows excellent. I put it right in front of a grow light, so maybe that's the secret. But even then, when I moved it from in front of the grow light and just kind of put it in front of a window where it's getting indirect sunlight, it still just kept on growing and kept on going. And I'm just so proud of it. My Hoya chicken farm was a 1-leaf cutting for 11 months before I even got a second leaf on it. And then once it actually started growing, I was like, oh, that's why you were taking so long, because look at the size of these leaves. So I would not consider this plant massive at all, not yet at least, but considering how long it took just to get a second leaf, it is insane, because I now, in less time than it took to get a second leaf, I've gotten this many of them. So it's once it started growing, it just really took off. And what's really crazy is I have trimmed and propagated this Hoya twice, maybe 3 times, and it's still just, well, obviously it's going to keep growing, but it would even be a little bit bigger than this had I not done that. And as you can see, I have a gazillion tendrils just wrapped around here waiting to push out new leaves. I can even see at least 5 new leaves growing on here. I wish this Hoya would flower, but I've learned not to be impatient with the Hoya chicken farm, because as you see, it took 11 months to get a second leaf, and then look at us now. It just makes me feel so excited for all of my baby Hoyas that I am still waiting to push out a new leaf, because I just have to remember that this was the same way, and a lot of them didn't even take as long as this Hoya did as far as pushing out new growth after it, arrived. But this is so much growth for me, And as you guys can see, like I had 2 leaves on it. That one leaf died as soon as I brought it home. And then I was just stuck with that one leaf for a while. So it's just really cool how far I've come with this Hoya. And by no means like have I really done anything special with it aside from giving it like really bright light on a shelf. But it's crazy to think that this was in my greenhouse cabinet right under a grow light doing nothing, and now it's like about to grow off of a shelf that I have it on, and it's like constantly trying to go under the grow light that I have up there. It's just all over the place. Like it's just all over the place. So I'm thinking about cutting a few more tendrils off, and this time not giving them away, just rooting them back in here for it to fill this, fill this space in. I just don't know if I'm doing the right thing with it right now. And I mean, like with the tendrils, with wrapping them, some people have commented, like some of you have told me that when I wrap the tendrils around, that kind of like stunts their growth, or the leaves don't grow in certain spots because of it. So if you have any advice on like what to do with this so I can get it bigger, let me know. But so far, the leaf size is great. Have you ever gotten a wish list plant and then when you finally have it in your hands, you're like, I cannot believe I actually have this? Well, I do. I do it quite often actually. And I especially did it with this variegated Scindapsus satin jade. I just couldn't believe how gorgeous it was in person. And I immediately started obsessing over it and posting it a lot. But it wasn't very big at the time. So my hopes weren't very high that it would reach this stage for a while, but I was actually wrong about that. This was only like a year and a half ago, but this is all the growth on top of the fact that I have given it a massive haircut numerous times. In fact, I have a few propagations in my living room right now. I've given some away to friends. And the reason is that once it outgrows this trellis, then like you can see the trellis, here's the back of it. So once it outgrows this, then it doesn't look very good on my shelf, on the shelf that I have it on anymore. So I end up like just propagating it so that, so I can keep the aesthetic, if you will. But I quickly realized, maybe after the second propagation, that just makes it grow back even crazier, even quicker. You know how, you give it a haircut, it's gonna grow back like crazy. So it was just getting way too out of control. So the only thing to do was to relocate it, which I did. But now it's time to give it actually another trellis, or like stack them, give it something else to climb on. Because at this point, I'm starting to wrap it around, and I don't really like that look. So anyway, absolutely adore this plant. Love the variegation on here. Even though some of the leaves just come out all green, it just still looks really good. And this all green is from when it like grows back behind the shelf and it's not getting as much light as the variegated leaves. And I just want each leaf, look how different they are. I just want each leaf to have something, like some kind of color to it besides green. So that was another reason why I needed to move it. I was so obsessed with it. I couldn't stop taking pictures of it. I couldn't stop talking and posting about it. And I've since taken a little break. So I felt like, okay, it's been long enough, I can show it again. Another thing too is I remember when I got this, I don't remember exactly how much it cost, but for a 2 or 3 leaf cutting, it was, I want to say it was like maybe $90. It was a lot for me. For 3 leaves, I was like, do I really want, I wouldn't do it again. And not because I've had any problems with this plant. I have not. As you see, it's grown beautifully, it's grown wonderfully, and quite frankly, quickly, but that's why I wouldn't pay it again. So if I'm paying that much for a little itty bitty cutting, then it needs to be something like that is 1 in a million, does not grow quickly, it's hard to care for. Like, I don't see why this isn't being mass produced already. I don't know, I feel like I'm like talking bad about the plant. I love it, I absolutely love it, but I feel like you should have one too. And I feel like you shouldn't have to pay a lot for it. That's all I'm saying. But the way this Scindapsus looks and makes me feel is priceless. Like, I can put no dollar amount on it. It makes me feel so achieved. Like, to know that I can cut this, I can give this a massive haircut, no problem. And I like feel very confident that it's gonna come back bigger and better. Like, do you know how much confidence it takes for me to chop and prop a wish list plant as much as I've done to this. Like, I'm pretty confident in my abilities to keep this alive. And honestly, I don't even think it's my abilities. I think it's just been a very easy plant to care for. I've never had any problems out of it. Literally, the only problem was that it was just like overgrowing on the shelf. It does dry out a lot, but again, look how small the pot is. So I do need to repot this. I'm probably stunting its growth a little bit by having it in such a small pot, but it's just so cute. It's like so perfect right now. I don't want to mess with it. So I will end up putting another trellis in this, but yeah, I just had to show this to you guys today, even though I feel like I show it way too much. It wouldn't hurt to see it again. Show me an Anthurium in my collection that doesn't have damaged leaves, and I will show you a unicorn. Damaged leaves or not, this is crazy growth, and I think the leaves are just gonna keep getting bigger. This is an Anthurium no ID that I got as just a little baby plant. I just can't believe how big it's gotten since. And look at this leaf. It's not even done hardening off yet, and it just keeps growing and growing. So originally I felt like I would eventually figure out what this was. Again, it was sold to me as a no ID. And I was like, well, as it matures, I'll be able to like figure out what it's crossed with. And I still have no idea. So it looks like it will remain a mystery forever, but I don't even care because look how beautiful it is. And they come in super red. Like this plant, I mean, this leaf right here in the front was, I don't really want to touch it too much, but it was so copper, and even in the back, like it's still a lot of red going on. And it's just always stood out in my collection. Even when I had it in my greenhouse cabinet, it was kind of like the elephant in the room, and it just started growing so fast. I wasn't even ready. I was like, hold on, I gotta repot you and I gotta figure out where else to put you. And even now, as it's in my bedroom, like with every new leaf that comes in, I have to move it to a different spot because they're like, you know, in front of other leaves, or they're growing. They just grow crazy if I don't have them. If I don't have this plant like all by itself, the leaves kind of get caught on other stuff, or like this one got caught on a trellis and it kind of tore the leaves. So I really do have to be careful with placement when it comes to this, but oh my goodness, considering how much it's grown, I wouldn't even say like it's grown a lot as far as how many leaves are on here, but the size of the leaves just kind of takes me out. Like these leaves are now bigger than my head, and like they used to be the size of my hand. So it's just crazy. It's crazy to think about how much this has grown over the years. And I'm so glad that I didn't give up on it, because I didn't know what it was. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's gonna keep, like I kept losing leaves. So yeah, it's been quite the journey. And even with these damaged leaves, like this is some of my best work. Actually, it's not my work at all. There's someone bigger and much greater than I who is responsible for this, but I just feel like I'm really proud of it. This one is so personal to me because, well, if you've been here a while, then you've already heard the story, but my husband got this for me for Christmas one year. And when he brought it in, he was so terrified. Like he had blankets wrapped around it. It was hilarious because just going to the car, from the car to the front door, he was just so scared that like the cold air would damage it. And I was like, oh, bless his heart. But it was an itty bitty little seedling when I got it. And I don't think I even showed it on my channel here until it had like 2 or 3 leaves on it. But the leaves were totally undefined. This is my Philodendron Florida albo mint, and I recently did a big chop because there was like 2 huge leaves, but they were like overgrown over the pole, and there was just too much space in between the 2 big leaves and these. So I decided to go ahead and root it. It's upstairs rooting right now, and once I see a few roots on it, I'll go ahead and stick it back into the stratum and just make it fuller. But every once in a while, I'll go out there and I'll show my husband, like, look where it is now. Look how big it is now. And he doesn't even recognize it anymore. And it's just so amazing. But I didn't even know I wanted this plant until he got it. Like he literally handpicked this out for me and figured I would like it. And that is very risky for any woman, but especially for me with plants. And the variegation on here has remained so beautiful and so unique to each leaf. I feel like a lot of the plants that I'm showing today are variegated, which is weird because to me, like variegated plants grow a whole lot slower. But anywho, the leaves are nice and defined now. So they're getting like these big fingers on them, and the propagation, the two pieces that I am propagating upstairs are amazing. And I'm just so happy with it. I've repotted it twice. Hopefully I don't have to again anytime soon because I have it in my naked root planter. It's also in stratum, and the roots in here look amazing. It's not the first time I've propagated this, but it is the first time that I've propagated it like without it being because of some kind of damage or because of like I had spider mites on it one time and I was like, oh my gosh, no. No, 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 no. This isn't the most massive plant I have in my collection. I don't think it's the most like impressive one, but it means so much to me. So if there were ever, God forbid, a house fire, this is certainly one of the ones that I would be trying to save, or at least like I would save the cutting of it or something. But yeah, it's done a whole lot in a small amount of time. So I'm very pleased with it. So before I blow my entire month's grocery budget on a full plant, I'm gonna look for the cutting first. I'm gonna look for something unrooted, maybe rooted, probably. Depends on like what season we're in, but I'm not buying a full plant if I don't have to. I used to be really pressed to get a big like full plant, but now I have way too many plants in here and not enough space. And second of all, I know that I can just grow the plant myself. Like this Epipremnum giganteum was one leaf, and it was one leaf for a while. And even after having this for over 2 years, this is all the growth that I've gotten on it, and I've kept it in front of a grow light the entire time. You can probably tell as much from the lack of green on here. Like I probably could stand to pull it back a little bit, but yeah, this is definitely a very slow growing plant. Even though there's not a lot going on here right now, if you understood how long I had that one leaf, and then when a second leaf came in, the first one died. I was like, what? Come on. But it does have some crazy looking roots right here. Probably enough for me to go ahead and cut it. But as long as I've been growing this plant, I'm like, I do not want to start over. Like this Epipremnum gets really big, hence the name. And since that's the part that appeals to me when it comes to this plant, I don't want to do anything to it until it like gets there or slightly resembles getting there. I know that I had become so impatient with it that I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not putting a moss pole in there or a cocoa pole or whatever. I'm not putting anything in there. Like it's taking its time. What do I look like? But when it started putting out new roots, I was like, oh, maybe we better get it on something. So here we are. And this actually is one of those plants that I don't show very often because I feel like it's just not a lot to look at. But considering how far it's come, this is like massive. This is crazy growth to me. And ever since I lost that leaf when the second one came in, I decided to keep it in a clear pot because I need to keep an eye out for like any rotting roots or anything going on. And also I realized that it was not like absorbing water the way it should. So when I put it in this clear pot and watered it the same way I had been the entire time, the water was just like sitting at the top and slightly going around, but it was not reaching the roots. So not only did that teach me how to properly water plants, number one, but I was like, it might be time to repot it. And so I did. And now it's growing. This philodendron has been showing its true colors for a long time now. Your true colors shining through. I want to hear that now. But you guys, when I first got this plant, literally, I didn't even know what it was. I had to ask one of you guys, and that was almost 3-4 years ago, and someone finally got it right, and I was like, oh shoot, that is what it is. And the rest was history. Like it has never stopped since then. And I mean, it's quite obvious why I'm in love with this plant. Like it never loses that bright green color. Ooh, look at that leaf. That's not supposed to be like that. But it does look kind of cool. So yeah, I've had to move this a million times because it keeps outgrowing the space. And finally, I found a spot on the top of my shelf where it looks cute and it's gonna be able to stay there for a while. I would kind of consider this fairly common now. I know when I first got it, it wasn't. I didn't even know what it was. But now I see them a little bit more. If I'm not mistaken, I've actually seen, no, I know I have seen a couple of these in big box stores now. You know, of course, there are the regular green ones, and then there's the Ring of Fire. But out of all of them, this one to me looks the best. I've got just about every variation of this plant, so you can tell I kind of like it. The only one I don't have is the caramel marble, And the last time I checked the price of it, I won't be having it for a while, which is totally fine because I'm very content with this one. Like this one is kind of filling all the empty voids because of how bright it is, because of how amazing it is, and because of how easy it has been and how fast it grows. There's always a new leaf coming in on it. I love how it grows down like out of the pot. And I really enjoy how kind of moving the light around can change like what direction it's growing in. So it's like really easy to mold into how I want it to look. I've never propagated it, at least I don't think so. I might have lost a leaf or two on here, but obviously it wasn't anything major because I don't remember. But this growth is outrageous and a little bit unexpected. And I say that because like I've always kind of known the plant to look like this. Like when I think about this plant, I imagine it looking just the way it does here. So when I looked at the older video, I was like, what? It started off that small. I don't even remember that. So I was like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know how to explain it. It does something to me. Like it makes me motivated to like go do plant chores or something. I don't know. I just love my plants. I love looking at the growth of them. Sometimes I see the nice ones, like some really beautiful plants that I've had that I've killed, whatever. But it definitely makes up for it when I see one like this. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I didn't even notice that you were getting so big right before my eyes. I feel the same way about my kids. Like, oh, now I want another plant, not another kid. Okay, so if you've been here a while, you're probably so sick of hearing me talk about this. And I'm really sorry, but I can't help myself. I have to show it. This is my spectacular, albeit crazy looking Hoya iasisnsis. And it looks crazy because the way I have it hanging, like I have the tendrils like tucked up on the macrame thingy above it. Anyway, so my Hoya iasisnsis started off just a couple leaves, nothing crazy. And then it just kept growing and kept growing and continuously flowered. Like I just lost the flowers on here. This Hoya always blooms. So when I got this, it was a little bit of an impulse buy. At the time, I had no idea how beautiful the leaves would get and like how big they would get and how perfect it would be and how much it would flower and how much I would love it. And even if it is growing super crazy and all over the place, like it's definitely one of those Hoyas where I don't mind. And I can't believe that the leaves are, oh my gosh, look at this one. I can't believe the leaves are getting this big without me having it on a trellis. Like, can you imagine how big will they get on a trellis? Will they get any bigger? Look at that. These leaves are perfect. They're so firm and they have like these little black margins, a little bit of veining. This is a girl's girl all the way. I have this hanging in front, like right in front of a south facing window. So that is what a lot of this growth is coming from. Like, look at this tendril. This is perfect. This is like picture perfect. And it's another Hoya that I look at now and I'm like, oh my gosh, we have come so far. Like you have grown so much. And again, it wasn't even like a wish list plant. It wasn't something that I was like, oh my gosh, I have to have it. But now I can't imagine life without this plant. Like it's my whole personality at this point. And once upon a time, someone said that this looked like a big old green apple. And ever since then, like I can't stop thinking about green apples every time I see it. I love how it looks in a white pot. Like this is a plant that's always gonna have to be, I think, in a white pot. It's amazing. It's perfect. Like you guys, look at this. Imagine that all these crazy tendrils were on here. It's just beautiful. It's so pretty. So it's just another plant that I'm gonna let keep going and keep growing and see just how big I can possibly get it or see how big I can get the leaves. But I'm definitely like super obsessed with this plant now. And every single time it flowers, I have to take more pictures of it. Hopefully I can find one and post it on the screen. But every time I say I'm gonna post something on the screen when I'm editing, I'm like, oh, why did I say that? Don't feel like finding the picture. But anyway, I'll do it just for you guys. And yeah, I hope that everyone loves this as much as me. I've had it about 3 years now. It, again, wasn't anything like super popular or super expensive. It just really grew on me, quite literally. Every once in a while, I have a plant that I kind of wish would like take a chill pill, especially if it's a crawler. Like, oh my gosh, a fast growing crawler is nothing but problems, let me tell you. So there I was all googly-eyed and head over heels over this plant on a live sale. And I saw that it was a cross between the Esplendii and the Gloriosum. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love Gloriosum hybrids. And I really should have known. I should have known because the leaves were already like kind of big, when I got it. And then they just kept going and kept growing. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I had to find a pot to put it in, number one, which was already hard enough. I mean, y'all know how crawling plants are some of the time, but then it didn't even like do what it was supposed to do in the crawling pot, because look at this, like, what are you doing? Where are you going? So even though I do wish that this plant was a little bit smaller, because like I don't have anywhere to put it, I am still so in love with it. Like, the leaves are everything. They're perfect. They're the perfect mix of texture, veining. They have like this great heart shape, and I don't have any problems with it. I know when I first got it, I had a bout of spider mites, but I learned fairly quickly on that it's an extremely thirsty plant, and it's crossed with gloriosum, and like gloriosums for me are notoriously fussy. So yeah, I just kind of paid a little bit more attention now, and it seems to do fine. But you guys, these leaves are some of the biggest, if not the biggest, in my collection. Like, I don't know if you can really tell, but like there's my hand on it. And then we have another one coming in, so I'm terrified. Like, what else do you want from me? I even moved it from the spot that it was in to like a kind of darker corner, and it still did not stop. It was like, yep, still going. And I mean, I'm not mad at it, but it might be time to go ahead and do a chop and prop and kind of start anew, and maybe even like get it to grow in the direction that I want it to grow. I mean, if you kind of look right there, this is pretty much prime real estate for air layering. So I might be okay that way, but you guys, please tell me this plant is not impressive. It is so incredible. My variegated alocasia frydek is massive growth, so long as it's not dead, honestly. But not only is it alive and well, but I've got 4 leaves on it. Like, no, 5 actually. I was like, oh my gosh, am I really doing this? Then to top it off, I've never had this alocasia growing outdoors. Like, I'm way too scared to do that. But in one of my outdoor plants, I found this yesterday. Okay. I mean, I wasn't complaining, but I was just like, that's random. Because like, I've never done anything with this plant. I don't know how corms from it got into another. Anyway, so yeah, when I first got this, it had 2.5 leaves, had 2 and 1 unfurling, and I lost those, and then it grew another new leaf and I lost that one as well. And even recently I lost a leaf on here because I overwatered it, but we're still here, y'all. We're hanging on for dear life maybe, but we're hanging on. And I'll give you even more breaking news. No spider mites. No spider mites. And that's because I'm so scared of this getting spider mites that like I'm consistently treating it. I don't forget ever. But I got this plant on a live sale, and it feels so cool to have gotten one with such like perfect variegation on it. Like even the half moons, and like, look at this. I get half moons a lot, but even the ones that aren't have just so much going on. And I really lucked up when I found this. Then to find like a little treat of another one growing outside was insane to me. I was like, oh my gosh, should I touch it? Like, do I do anything? What do I do? What do I do? But it was no biggie. I brought it in and I put it right next to this one, since this one's doing so well in that spot. I was like, all right, fingers crossed for both of you. But oh my gosh, you guys, like when I first got this, I even said, I'm so nervous because I cannot keep the alocasia frydek alive. And a lot of alocasias I have a very difficult time with, especially when they're like super velvety like this. Like I do okay with jewel alocasias, but a velvet alocasia frydek on top of that, thin leaf, no. Spider mite central. So yeah, as long as I'm staying on top of it, it's doing a great job. And it even survived a full winter without like crisping up or getting pests. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to get too confident and then mess things up. But I honestly did not believe in myself when it came to this plant. And now I'm just feeling like a little bit more confident in my green thumb. I wouldn't run out and get any more alocasias right now, but I'm definitely on the right track, and it feels so good to see this. So this was originally sold to me as, I think, the Madagascar begonia. And I'm still kind of on the fence about whether or not that's what it really is. But what is absolute is that it's beautiful. And I love how reddish, pinkish the leaves look in the back. And depending on what angle you're looking at it from, like it just seems to change colors. It's just crazy. So I had this growing in my cabinet for a while and I was super apprehensive about moving it out of there, but the size of the leaves left me no choice. I moved it out of there and I haven't turned back. And not only has it grown into this big, beautiful plant, but I have successfully propagated it 1,000,000 times. So much so where like the last time I cut a piece off, I just threw it in the trash because I am running out of spaces and people to give these to. And as you can see, the leaves start getting really big eventually. So yeah, I had to do something. I have a slight suspicion that when I put a bunch of kiki paste on it, the last time I propagated it, well, I wasn't even propagating it. I just lost so many leaves that it just had like a bunch of bald spots. So I put kiki paste on it and I was like, oh, wait a minute. That's a little bit more than I could bargain for. So yeah, now I'm just like dealing with overgrowth of the plant. Like you can't even see the trellis anymore. I tried to put a cute little trellis on there and now like it's laughable. And of course, every single time I cut it, that it just like sprouts a whole new life. So yeah, that could have a lot to do with it as well. But I keep this in my bedroom now. I don't even, like, I'm not even pressed for humidity anymore. I do get a little bit of crispiness sometimes, but as long as I keep it watered, I don't have any problems with it. And the texture, oh my gosh, you guys, the texture on here. So I really wanted something fuzzy, but some of the fuzzier begonias are a little bit pricey and I didn't want to risk killing it because I did end up buying one that was pricey and it's now dead. So yeah, this just gave me like a really good fix of that without breaking the bank and without killing it. The texture is so defined, like this is crazy. There's texture on top of the texture. And I don't know, the more I look at it, the more crazy it looks to me. But the red stems, out of this world. The way the leaves come in, super red, crazy. So I really think that this is like the perfect fall looking plant. I feel like I should feature it in my fall video coming up here soon, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, does anyone have this? And if so, am I killing the game right now by having this alive? Or is it just an easy begonia? But overall, 10 out of 10 for the begonia. This was another one of those slow to start, but then blow up with growth Hoyas. And I put it outside over the summer. I literally just brought it in yesterday. So I'm like watching it very closely. But this one is very, very special to me because it came from my grandma. Like, right before she died, she gave me a cutting of it and she told me hers just didn't make it once she brought it in. So I've always kept like a second one close by and I recently just gave that one away. So like, I really have to be careful with this one now in case something does happen to it. But I wanna try to have enough confidence in my abilities to just leave it alone and let it continue to grow. Oh, by the way, this is the Hoya pachyclada and I really want the variegated one. The stems are really thick and the leaves are too. And they sun stress beautifully around the margins. It's not black. It's more of like a copper, like brown tone, but it is incredible. I got plenty of flowers on it over the summer and my neighbor was walking past like, what the heck is that? I was like, that's grandma's plant. Yep. So grandma put enough love and care into this before I got it. And it took so long to do anything. So when it finally did, I was like, oh yeah, we're moving. And then it just wouldn't stop. It would not stop. So I lost a little bit of it yesterday cause like when I bring my plants in, y'all, I repot everything, like get rid of all the soil, rinse the roots off. I'm terrified of bugs. And there were a lot of slugs too, which was weird. But yeah, so I lost a little bit of it. I have that now propagating somewhere around here. And I'm just like, you did your thing out there and you fought a good fight. You survived. And it was very sprawled out all over the place. So yesterday I had to put a trellis in here and like give it something to climb. But it's not really like, You know, when I put something, especially a Hoya, on a trellis, it kind of takes a while to adjust to the, you know, to the fact that it's on something, and like for the leaves to kind of not look weird and wonky, but you can still really get a gist of how beautiful these leaves are before they like all turn to face one direction. And I am just in love with it. So this is another one of those plants that I would have to come in and save from a house fire, or at least like snap a piece off of it or something. But so far, any piece that I've rooted has been successful. It's just really cool that I've had it for years, and putting it outside this summer was the first time I got to see the flowers. So it was just really neat. It was really neat. I tried to take a picture of it, but when I was like getting up close on it, a lizard came out of it, and I was like, oh, never mind. So yeah, the Hoya pachyclada looking amazing. I had no idea it would be this gorgeous when she gave it to me. I just wanted a Hoya. And look at it now. So guys, that's all the energy I have for the day. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It is a very free, easy way to help me out. Let me know which plant was your favorite. And as always, let me know if you have any of these and what your experience is like with them. It's really cool getting tips and tricks from you guys. So I really do use them. I use them a lot. So if you have any of those, definitely let me know in the comments down below. Other than that, I will see you in the next video. And as always, I love you so much. Thanks. Bye.